Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 We're reading from the first canto, 15th chapter, text number 21. Tadvadanustai Shavasarato Ayaste.
Tadvadanustai Shavasarato Ayaste.
Swamrati Nripatayo Yatan Anamanti.
Soham Rati Nipatayo Yata Anamanti.
Sarvam Kshanena Tadabhut Asatishena Riktam.
Sarvan Shanena Tadabhut Ashadishariktam.
Bashmam Hutam Kuhakaraddam Iva Uptam Mushiyam.
Vajmanutam Kuhakaradam Ivotam Mushyam. Tadvaidanustai Ishabasarato Hayaste.
Tadvaidanushta Ishvasarato Hayaste.
Soham Rati Nipatayo Yata Anamanti.
Swaham Rati Nripatayo Yata Anumanti.
Sarvan Shanena Tata Bhutasadi Shariktam.
Sarvam Kshanena Tadabhudasat Ishena Riktam.
Vasmam Hutam Kuhakaradam Vibhottam Mushyam.
Bhashmam Hutam Kuhakarabdam Iva Uptamushyam.
Tadvaidanusta Ishvasarato Hayaste.
Tadvaidanusta Ishvasarato Hayaste.
Soham Ratini Ripatayo Yatanam Namanti.
Swamrati Nripatayo Yata Anumanti.
Sarvan Shanina Tada Budasai Shariktam.
Sarvam Shanena Tadabhut Asat Ishena Triktam.
Basmanutam Kuharadam Ivoktam Mushyam.
Basmam Hutam Kuhakaradam Iva Uptamushyam. Tad, the same.
The same.
By,
By
certainly.
certain.
Dhanusta,
Dhanusta.
the same bow.
The same book.
Ishvaraha,
Ishvara.
arrows.
Arrows.
Sa,
Sa.
the very same.
The very same.
Ratho,
Rato.
the chariot.
The chariot.
Ayiste,
Haiste.
the very same horses.
The very same horses.
Soaham,
So Aham.
I am the same Arjuna.
And the same are yours.
Nripataya,
Nipratiya.
all the kings.
All the kings.
Anamanti,
Anumanti.
offered their respects.
Offering the respect.
Sarvam,
Sarvam.
all.
Oh.
Kshanena,
Shanena.
by a moment's notice.
By moment's notice.
Tad,
That
all those.
all those
Abhut,
Adbhut
became.
became
Asad,
Asad
useless.
useless.
Ishena, on
Ishena.
account of the Lord.
On the account of the Lord.
Riktam,
Ritam.
being void.
Being void.
Bashmam,
Vajman.
ashes.
Ashes.
Hutam,
Hutam.
offering butter.
Offering butter.
Kuhakarabdam,
Kuhar. Come.
money created by magical feats.
Money created with magical faith.
Iva,
Eva.
like that.
Like that.
Uptam,
Hutam.
seed.
Seed.
Ushyam,
Husham.
in the barren land.
In the environment.
Translation. I have got the very same Gandiva bow, the same arrows, the same chariot drawn by the same horses, and I use them as the same Arjuna, whom all the kings offered their due respects. And in the absence of Lord Krishna, all of them have become null and void in a moment's notice. It is exactly like offering clarified butter on the ashes, accumulating money by magic wand, and sowing seeds in the barren land. Purport by His Divine Grace. Hey, Sri Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki Jai. As we have discussed more than once, one should not be puffed up by borrowed plumes. All energies and powers are derived from the Supreme Source, Lord Krishna. And they act as long as he desires and stop to function as soon as he withdraws. As much as all electrical energies are received from the powerhouse, and as soon as powerhouse stops supplying energy, there is no more use of the bulbs and machine. In a moment's time, such energies can be generated or withdrawn by the supreme will of the Lord. Material civilization, without any connection with the blessing of the Lord, is a child's play only. So long the parents allow the child to play, it is all right. As soon as the parents withdraw, the child has to stop it. Human civilization and all activities thereof must be dovetailed with the supreme blessings of the Lord. And without his blessings, all advancement of human civilization is like decoration of the dead body. It is said here that dead civilization and its activities are something like pouring clarified butter on the ashes, accumulating money by the magic wand, and sowing seeds in barren lands. Om Agyantirinandasya Gyanajana Shalakayam Chakshunam Veritam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. I was born in the darkness of ignorance, and my spiritual master is divine grace. A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada has opened my darkened eye with the torchlight of knowledge. I offer my humble obeisances unto his lotus feet. Jai Shri Prabhupada.
Yeah.
So, one should not be puffed up by borrowed blooms. Everything we're borrowing from Krishna, even this body, all the energies are Krishna's. Nothing is ours. So, one who is puffed up, he is in ignorance. That is the sign of his illusion. He's being cheated by the modes of material nature. So if you're cheated, it's an embarrassment, especially when it is exposed. Then you look foolish. Oh, I have been cheated and I thought it was true. So the ego, false ego, acts in such a way that it doesn't allow the conditioned soul to understand his position. It is due to false ego that we can't understand this transcendental knowledge. We live in a state of denial. Maharaj Yudhishthira said, the most wonderful thing in the world is that although we see so many people dying, every day people are dying in our family, on the news, neighbors, so many people are dying. I remember in Montreal we had a neighbor from El Salvador, a guy from El Salvador. He was very fond of ganja and drinking and bringing his friends over and making noise. So one day we're chanting japa, just like now. We have finished our japa, so it was around this time. And I look through the window and there's an ambulance and they taking out a dead body from his place. It wasn't him, but some of his friends died while partying. So death can come at any moment. But Maharaj Yudhishthira says that although we see every day death around us, we still don't believe that we're going to die. We still have this hope. Maybe I will not die. We don't realize. Because we're so much cheated by the modes of material nature. We're so much attached to the body. Sometimes, now you can relate to this. Everyone has this device, this little device called the iPhone. So when you're on your iPhone, you become absorbed. You stop perceiving reality. You forget that, devotees are calling you prasadam, prasadam. Yeah, just a second. Yeah, I'm coming. And then after half an hour, you're still there. So much hypnotized. So in the same way, we're so much hypnotized by the material body, by the material pleasures, by sense gratification, bodily conception, bodily relationships, bodily activities, bodily concepts, bodily philosophies, bodily religions. Everything based on the body. I am the body, I am the senses. I need to eat, sleep, have sex, and fight. These four. This is the hypnosis. Eating, sleeping, mating, defense. This is not who we are. This is not our activity. The soul does not need to eat. The soul doesn't need to eat. It's eternal. We're eating because we need to maintain the body. But we're not the body. So why are we wasting time maintaining the body? Do you follow? We're not the body, and the body is such a misery for us, so much pain. So our eating, we're maintaining our misery. So one must be free from this eating propensity. Eating, sleeping, sex, fighting, defending. Sometimes we become attacked. So we want to defend. So all these must be given up completely. Given up. It's not so easy. Of course, in the beginning, we should not make something foolish, and not to eat and not to sleep. We have to, so long we're conditioned, we have to keep the body in balance so we can go on hearing this knowledge, understanding, practicing, not that abruptly stopping everything. That is not recommended. But we should understand, nevertheless, it is not because of the body that we are alive, and we put food in the body. It is because there is the soul. The soul enters the semina of the father, and that is injected in the womb, and then a child comes out. Indrani comes out. So the elements are already there. But without the spirit soul, there is no life. Ultimately, the father is not also the origin of life. The father should also not be puffed up. Oh, I have the soul. Not the woman, I have the soul. No. The soul is given by Krishna. Krishna has injected innumerable souls into this material existence. And they just going from one body to another one, like that. And as soon as that soul leaves that body, when he dies, then the body is useless. If your argument is, no, I have to eat, otherwise I'm going to die. If that is your argument, then if a person dies, give him a sandwich. You give him a nice sandwich, make him alive again, because it's the food, right, which makes you alive. So, give him a nice sandwich. Will he become alive? You give a dead man sandwich, you put it in his mouth. Will he become alive? No. Is he? He will not become alive. So this is a foolish idea. This is our difficulty. We don't understand these basic principles. That is why sometimes people say, oh, I cannot take up Krishna consciousness because I need to eat, sleep, have sex, and fight. They put it as the condition that, oh, I cannot practice because I need to do this. This is foolishness. You follow? It doesn't make any sense, that argument. I cannot come out of the prison cell because I have to build the prison cell. Is there any argument? Is there any logic in it? Why are you building this prison cell in the first place? Who gave you the idea? Why are you wasting time like this? Everything is impermanent, including your body. Why are you investing so much time in maintaining the temporary arrangement? Whatever you accomplish, everything will be washed out. Death will come. Come with me. Oh, but I want to keep my bank account. No. You leave the bank account there. You come with me. Death has no excuses for death. That's it. So, it is very simple. Spiritual life doesn't depend on any material cost. Any material cost. There is no excuse. Even if it is difficult, because we're accustomed, we're hypnotized by the senses. Even if it is difficult, if we try our little bit, tiny little desire, tiny little spark, Krishna will help us. Krishna controls the whole show. Everything. It is not that simply that God has created the world in the beginning and then he left. Oh, let it go on its own. I'm going to take a nap. No, He's completely in charge of everything. He's giving the inspiration to the soul to act in a particular way. Ishara sarva bhutanam hridesha jatishtati brahmaya sarva bhutani yantra rudani maya. Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita that I am seated on this machine of the material body. How do you say machine? What is machine? How do you say it?
Machine.
Huh?
Machine.
But in Sanskrit. Sanskrit.
Yantra.
Yantra. Very good. Krishna Kishore is good. Yantra. Your mantra, you can remember it. Mantra, yantra. Yantra is a machine. So Krishna says, Yantra rudani maya. I am seated on this machine. Don't think that 5,000 years ago there are no machines. There were no iPhones. Everything was there. There was a special iPhone 5,000 years ago. Do you know? There was an iPhone, yes. They had iPhones. Sanjay, it's called Mystic Television. Sanjay, the speaker of the Bhagavad Gita, because Bhagavad Gita is a conversation between Dhritarashtra and Sanjay. They're conversing. So, Sanjay was in a camp. He wasn't on the battlefield. He was in a camp with Dhritarashtra. Dhritarashtra was blind. So what would he do on the battlefield? He was staying in a camp. But Sanjay could see how Krishna and Arjuna were talking. There was a live stream also. In a live stream on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, he could see how Krishna is talking to Arjuna. Everything very nicely. But not this through gross machine that he has to go to the Apple store or some store like that to get an iPhone and paying bills, phone bills. Through the heart. Through the heart he could see. This actually, if you continue practicing Krishna consciousness, this is also awaiting for us. You will be able to perceive Krishna through the heart, through the mystic tali, all these pastimes. You will see from within, from the heart. First, the heart must be purified. Everything okay? We'll be done in a few minutes. The heart must be purified first of all. It's like a mirror. right? And there's a lot of dust on the mirror. You can't see yourself. But when you wash the mirror, oh, and you see, oh, I'm so beautiful. So you will see not just yourself as the soul, but you also see Krishna's pastimes. This is the first stage. Before going back home, back to Godhead, you will see from within the heart, you will see his pastimes. You'll be seated like this. Nobody will know. You'll be seated like Indrani is now sitting. But within the mind, you're seeing all the pastimes of Krishna. That is at the stage of bhava. You know the bhava? You know what is the bhava? Bhava means ecstasy. It's okay?
There was a problem with the camera, but I think it's fixed.
Is it fixed? Is it not?
Yes.
I had some complaints that there were some people writing to me that your live streams, they last only 2 minutes every day.
They last?
Only 4 minutes. Anyway. So, at the stage of bhava, stage of ecstasy, you can see the pastimes. So everything was there. And Krishna is supplying the intelligence to all the living entities. We are not independent. Sometimes you get an inspiration. Oh, let me do this. Oh, let me go there. Let me try like this. Oh, let me contact this person. Let me add this person on Facebook. Oh, it looks kind of interesting. Let me add him. This is all Krishna inspiring you. It is not that simply we have desire independence. How can you prove this? Very simple. Your decision is based on your previous decisions or desires. Right? For example, if you observe your mind, it is a continuous flow of thoughts. It's like a chain, uninterrupted. You're thinking of something, just like going on the internet, right? You go on the internet, you click, you see, then you click somewhere else, that leads you somewhere else, that leads you somewhere else. It's like a cycle. This is why people are hooked up on the internet, because it never ends. So the mind is very similar. It never ends. The thought process never ends. Even when you're tired, you go to bed, the mind is going on. Unbelievable. So all these thoughts are chained together by some relation. There's a relation between, some link between one thought and the other one. I am hungry. Okay, that's why I should go and cook. I don't have ingredients. Let me go and shop. It's too far. Let me wake up Makanchur to drive me. Oh, we have no gas. Okay, we have to buy gas. Gas, okay. There's been the Saudi Arabia, some war there with them. Oh, war, atomic bomb. This is how the mind functions. You can observe your mind when you chant. There's a continuous flow. So your desire, it doesn't appear out of nowhere, but is the result of the previous thought processes. You follow? So that is governed by Krishna. Krishna is giving us inspiration. You think like this, you think like that. So everything is controlled by Krishna. If we desire to surrender to Him, Krishna becomes extremely pleased. And He starts to guide us. Just like He's inspiring us, we have certain desires. So Krishna is giving us inspiration how to fulfill those desires. I want to be a very famous man. Okay, Krishna will give you inspiration. You go and learn these skills. Ravi Shankar, it took him 7 lifetimes to develop his sitar playing skills. That is inspired by Krishna. But if you desire to surrender to him, if you desire, oh, enough of this career and fame and money and women and whatever, I want to go back home, back to Godhead, then Krishna becomes especially pleased, and he will guide you especially about this very fast, because this is in Krishna's interest. And you become a famous man, this is not Krishna's interest. The more you become successful in the material world, the further you go from Krishna. Further you go into Maya, into illusion, and further you have to suffer. The more you entangled in these material activities, the more difficult it is to get rid of them. Just like I'll cite the example in North America. If you go to school, I don't know in Mexico or Peru how it is, but if you want to go to school, it's very, very expensive. Many thousands and thousands of dollars. So the students, they have to take a loan from the bank for $20,000, sometimes $100,000. I'm serious, $100,000. I met a friend who had a debt of $100,000 just for studying at university. So then they have to find a job because they have to pay off. See, they get the university to get a job, but then they have to get a job. And then when they have a job, they have to work. They're bound for 10 years, 20 years, maybe sometimes even for their whole life. They have to pay off the school debt. So they cannot just join the temple. They're completely bound. So it is just like that. The more we go, the more debt we increase. Everything we enjoy without offering to Krishna, it is a debt. We increase our debt. And if we have debts, then we cannot surrender. It's like a vicious cycle. But Krishna is so expert that if you surrender, Krishna can cut off all these debts, all these things. He can cut off at once. At once. No hesitation. No? Otherwise, what would be the meaning of God if he couldn't do it? God can create this entanglement. Why he creates this entanglement? Because we want to forget. I don't want to think of Krishna. So Krishna must exhibit this Maya. So we become more and more bewildered. Then I become forgetful. And so, if we desire to go back home, back to Krishna, we desire devotional service, then you can cut it immediately. Whatever he has created, arranged, he can also destroy. So, everything we do here, Arjuna is contemplating that before I was a great warrior. I had the same bow, Gandiva, that was given to him by Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva was fighting with Arjuna, and Lord Shiva was very pleased with his chivalrous activities, so he gave him this bow, Gandiva. But these had no potency without Krishna. Similarly, whatever we have, if Krishna is not there, it is simply illusion. It is simply this, like Prabhupada said, a child's game. Like a child is nagging, please daddy, I want to drive a car. So then the father gives him a car for children, like a tiny car. But then when the child grows up, then he isn't attracted to play with these toys. So similarly, the conditioned soul desires to forget Krishna and enjoy sense gratification and merge with matter, and But when he gets the experience, when he gets burned out, when he gets kicks from the material nature, then he gives up that toy. It is just a toy. So we should not pay so much attention. Oh, I have a nice toy. We should get serious, grow up. This is all temporary. It's not important. Everything we do is we contemplate the temporary things, we serve the temporary things, and we lament over temporary. Our whole life is based on impermanence. So how can you expect any happiness, any pleasure? It's all just a big anxiety. But we think, oh, I am happy. It's like a fish that is taken out of water. No matter how, you can give nice cushion, you can wave with a fan, you can give expensive caviar to the fish. The fish will not be happy. You have to put the fish in the water. Similarly, because we are eternal, we belong to the eternal atmosphere, eternal spiritual world where everything is Satchitananda. Imagine everything eternal. Eternal supply of rasagula, eternal supply of everything. That is with Krishna. And ultimately, eternal supply of love. That's what we want. Here in this world, there is no love. There's simply a perversion, something that is glittering. There is gold. Gold is glittering and a glass is glittering. But the glass glittering, there's no value. So this material pleasure is like a reflection of the spiritual pleasure. It is not real. And that's why after we become involved in loving relationships, there's certainly pleasure, but again, temporary. Only for a little while. Then again, misery comes. So let us develop real love, unlimited love with Krishna. Real relationship. Let us become addicted to Krishna, not to these material things. Okay, and it can be done very easily by chanting Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Very simple process. You don't have to tax your brain. Oh, what is spirit? What is matter? What is this? What is that? No. Krishna made it very easy, shortcut. Chant Hare Krishna. Just by chanting and hearing. When you're chanting, you must hear also. It is not just chanting, it is also hearing. So when you hear attentively the mantra, all the dirty things are disappearing from the heart. Very simple. Then you will practically realize, I am not this body. If you don't realize now, if you have so many difficulties with the body, don't worry. Go on chanting Hare Krishna. That day will come when you no longer feel any pain. You will be in the body, but you will feel no pain. Imagine. Brahma Bhuta Prasanatma Nasochati Nakamshati. No lamentation. No hankering. You will have no desire. Oh, I want this. Or if I get this, then I'll be satisfied. If I get this, only if I could have this. It is also suffering. To desire something that you don't have is also another form of suffering. And then when you get it, because it's temporary, right, then you must lament over that same thing. Oh, no more. It is no more. So, Brahma Bhuta stage, liberation. No more pain. So you see everyone equally because you are no longer thinking of the pleasure or the pain of the body. You're no longer under the influence of the dualities. We see someone, oh, he's my enemy. Because some or other, that person is threatening my sense gratification. So he's an enemy. Srila Prabhupada is a great enemy to all the sense gratifiers because he says, no illicit sex, no meeting, no gambling, no intoxication. So he's an enemy. But he's not thinking, oh, they're my enemies. He's thinking they're all servants of Krishna. Let me help them to revive their original nature. Let me connect them with the real, eternal, unlimited happiness in Krishna consciousness. This is how he's thinking. He's thinking of the greatest good for the souls. And these rascals, they think, oh, how can we poison such a person? How can we kill him? See, all the devotees, they're getting killed and persecuted in the history. Why? Because the whole world, all the people here who live with us, they came here to enjoy separately from Krishna, to forget Krishna. And we have to awaken them. We have to tell them, no, don't forget Krishna. Remember Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. When we chant, we're giving people the opportunity to remember Krishna. So it is a very, very elevated activity. If you go and participate in the Harinam Sankirtan especially, don't think that Krishna doesn't see this, or he takes great pleasure in this, that you are doing such a wonderful service for all the living entities. Everyone is hearing, not just humans, insects, animals, dogs. Of course, dogs are freaking out when we pass by. Dogs are very afraid. But everyone is getting benefited. So without Krishna, there's nothing. And you add Krishna, you might be doing something insignificant, it becomes glorious. Just like this house. What is this house? It's insignificant. What little house in Spain on a hill. Difficult to climb there. But because there's Lord Jagannath and devotees are practicing here, maintaining spiritual atmosphere. When you enter, immediately you feel a spiritual atmosphere in the temple. So it becomes glorious, this house. Everyone is watching on the live stream. Oh, this is the Bliss Vangirola temple. Everybody knows. Before it was insignificant. When we came here the first day, it was insignificant. But now it is spiritual abode. It is not different from the spiritual world actually. Every temple where the activities are going on. Now if the activities are not going on, if we sleep here and eat and do nothing and waste time on Facebook chatting about material things, temporary things, then again it becomes an ordinary place. Spiritual life is not stereotyped, it's not dogmatic. Spirit is dynamic. So that's why you have to be careful. Don't take it for granted. Oh, I am very elevated devotee. I'm chanting 60 rounds. No. No, you have to constantly strive higher and higher and higher. Constantly higher. Maya makes it like that. Maya tricks us. Oh, you have chanted enough. That's okay. You have done very nicely. Don't be fooled by Maya. Always strive for higher perfection. Okay, so any questions or comments?
The through our spiritual senses we cannot perceive any spiritual. Or for example, you said that we can perceive the Krishna's pastimes on the mind, but how is that on the mind if it is material?
Spiritual mind. You have spiritual mind also.
Spiritual mind.
Yeah, the spiritual senses are covered by the material senses.
Mm.
Actually, it's not the material senses that perceive. It's the spiritual senses. You're perceiving through the spiritual senses. But there's a covering on them. So that covering must be removed. Not that the senses must be removed. Let's say you have a cataract. You know this disease? Cataract. Cataract with the eyes. Yeah, the eye. Yeah. Okay. You cure the cataract. You don't take out the eye and throw it in the garbage. Right? You cure the cataract. Not that the eye is the problem. The eye is very nice. The eye is a very good tool you can utilize. So in the same way, the senses are good. When you practice Krishna consciousness, you enjoy. This is enjoyment. You enjoy prasadam, you enjoy the sight of Lord Jagannath, you enjoy the kirtan, you enjoy the japa, touching the japa or touching the flowers, or you enjoy it. But this is spiritual enjoyment. There's a difference. Spiritual enjoyment in connection with Krishna. Must be connected to Krishna. If it's not connected to Krishna, then it is material.
So what we know is material senses are just covering,
Covering, yes.
but they don't exist actually, or
They exist, but they don't perceive. Just like the body. The body is like a dress, Krishna says. So this kurta is moving, right? But if I say, oh, is the kurta moving with Purujit inside? That is nonsense. Right? There's a pink chadar came. You know? You ever seen this movie, Invisible Man? Invisible Man? You have seen this? Invisible Man would put dress and he would walk. Like there was a man who one day he woke up and he was invisible. And he had a girlfriend, and the girlfriend she couldn't see him. So he would put dress and he would paint his face so she could see him. Right? So if you think like that at all, the chadar has come for the Guru Puja, or the orange t-shirt came with the green skirt, or the blue tiny little skirt came with some people inside of them. That's nonsense. We don't say it like that. We say Rukmini came, Indrani came, Atri came, Krishna Kishore came, dressed in a certain way. Right? So similarly, the spiritual senses are perceiving everything. You're perceiving through the spiritual senses, but they're covered by the material senses. Material senses means, oh, it is for my sense gratification. Even when you honor prasadam, you should be meditating. Oh, this is Krishna has tasted this. How amazing! God has eaten this food, and now I am taking what He has taken. You should meditate like that. Otherwise, it becomes also sense gratification. You're just eating. Oh, very good, filling up the belly. And it's what Krishna. I am Krishna. I am the enjoyer. Okay. Anything else? Any comments on the phones?
I just chant 16 rounds and further need to improve. This is not enough, I understand. Sharavanam.
Who said?
Sharavanam.
Oh, you're chanting 60 rounds. Very good. That is, wow. That is very good. Even that is very difficult to chant 60 rounds. Anyone who does it is glorious. Anyone who chants Hare Krishna even one time is glorious. What to speak of 60 rounds. Anything else?
On YouTube, no. On Facebook, no.
And Facebook?
No.
Okay, alright. Krantaraj Shiman Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Nitai Gaura Premanandi Hari Hari Ru.
Ya la vi.